among. 7.3. On one occasion, the Blessed One was dwelling at Rajagaha in the bamboo grove, the squirrel sanctuary. The Brahmin Asurindaka Bharadvaja heard. It is said that the Brahmin of the Bharadvaja clan has gone forth from the household life into homelessness under the ascetic Gotama. Angry and displeased, he approached the Blessed One and abused and reviled him with rude, harsh words. When he had finished speaking, the Blessed One remained silent. Then the Brahmin Asurindaka Bharadvaja said to the Blessed One, "You are beaten, ascetic, you are beaten, ascetic. You have lost." Then the Blessed One said, "The fool thinks victory is won when by speech he bellows harshly. But for one who understands, patient endurance is the true victory. One who repays an angry man with anger thereby makes things worse for himself. Not repaying an angry man with anger, one wins a battle hard to win. He practices for the welfare of both his own and the others. When knowing that his foe is angry, he mindfully maintains his peace. When he achieves the cure of both his own and the others, the people who consider him a fool are unskilled in the Dhamma." When this was said, the Brahmin Asurindaka Bharadvaja said to the Blessed One, "Magnificent Master Gotama, magnificent." And in the same way, he took refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha and also asked to go forth. And a few years later, he also attained Arahanthood. So it's quite impressive how these Brahmins, once they see the light, see the truth, they can go forth like this. 7.8. On one occasion, the Blessed One was dwelling at Rajagaha in the bamboo grove, the squirrel sanctuary. On that occasion, milk rice with ghee had been set out for the Brahmin Agika Bharadvaja, who had thought, "I will offer a fire sacrifice. I will perform the fire oblation." Oblation is offering. Then in the morning, the Blessed One dressed and taking bowl and robe, entered Rajagaha for alms. Walking for alms on uninterrupted alms round in Rajagaha, the Blessed One approached the residence of the Brahmin Agika Bharadvaja and stood to one side. The Brahmin Agika Bharadvaja saw the Blessed One standing for alms and addressed him in verse. "One endowed with the triple knowledge of proper birth, of ample learning, accomplished in knowledge and conduct, might partake of this milk meal." I'll stop here for a moment. So the Buddha came to his house to beg for food. But when he saw the Buddha, he said, "One with triple knowledge, te vijja." These Brahmins, they consider themselves to have the triple knowledge of proper birth. That means Brahmin birth, of ample learning. It's in the Vedas, the Brahmin books. And he says such a person maybe can take this meal. And the Buddha said, "Even though one mutters many chants, one does not become a Brahmana by birth. If one is rotten within and defiled, with followers gained by fraudulent means, one who has known..." I stop here for a moment. So the Buddha is saying, because these Brahmins, they do a lot of chanting, they have a lot of mantras, secret mantras. So the Buddha said, not by chance, by chanting, does one become a Brahmana. Brahmana here, although it is also used for the Brahmin clan, but originally Brahmana means a holy man. So the Buddha is saying, you are not a holy man just because you chant many chants. If you are rotten within. And the Buddha continued, "One who has known his past abodes, who sees heaven and the plains of woe, who has reached the destruction of birth, a sage consummate in direct knowledge. By means of these three kinds of knowledge, one is a triple knowledge Brahmana. This one, accomplished in knowledge and conduct, might partake of this milk rice meal." So the Buddha is saying, if one knows his past lives and can see heaven and the woeful plains, this the Buddha calls and reach the destruction of the round of rebirths. Then the Buddha calls this the triple knowledge. And the Buddha said, such a person is worthy of the meal. Then the Brahmin Agika Bharadvaja said, let Master Gotama eat. The worthy is a Brahmana. Or is a Brahmin, he says. The Master Gotama is also like us, a Brahmin. And the Buddha said, food over which verses have been sung is not fit to be eaten by me. This Brahmin is not the principle observed by those who see. The enlightened ones reject such food over which verses have been sung. As such a principle exists, O Brahmin, this is their rule of conduct. Serve with other food and drink, the consummate one, the great seer, with asavas or taints destroyed, and remorse still, for he is the field for one seeking merit. When this was said, the Brahmin Agika Bharadvaja said to the Blessed One, magnificent Master Gotama, magnificent. In the same way, he also took refuge and asked to go forth, and later he also became an Arahant. So you see, it's interesting here, the Buddha says, Buddhas don't chant verses for their meal. It's not like the Brahmins or nowadays, some monks, they do chanting to kind of to get the food or to earn a livelihood like that. So the Buddha says, real monks don't do that. 7.9. On one occasion, the Blessed One was dwelling among the Kosalans on the bank of the river Sundarika. Now on that occasion, the Brahmin Sundarika Bharadvaja was offering a fire sacrifice and performing the fire oblation on the bank of the river Sundarika. Then the Brahmin Sundarika Bharadvaja, having offered the fire sacrifice and performed the fire oblation, rose from his seat and surveyed the four quarters all around, wondering, who now might eat this sacrificial cake? Stop here for a moment. So here, after praying and offering all that food, he's thinking, who can he give the food to? It's in a way like our Chinese also. We pray to the gods, and after that, either the Chinese, they eat the food themselves or they give it to others. Then the Brahmin Sundarika Bharadvaja saw the Blessed One sitting at the foot of a tree with his head covered. Having seen him, he took the sacrificial cake in his left hand and the water pot in his right hand and approached the Blessed One. When the Blessed One heard the sound of the Brahmin's footsteps, he uncovered his head. Then the Brahmin Sundarika Bharadvaja, thinking, this worthy is shaven-headed, this worthy is a shaveling, wanted to turn back. But it occurred to him, some Brahmins here are also shaven-headed. Let me approach him and inquire about his birth. Let's stop here for a moment. Some of you may have seen this Hare Krishna monks. They have a little, they are bald except for a little hair, tuft of hair at the back. So I think Brahmins are like that. So this guy, he wanted to offer his food to a Brahmin, but when he saw the Buddha, clean shaven, he didn't want to give. He wanted to go away. Then suddenly he thought, maybe some Brahmins also are like that. Then the Brahmin Sundarika Bharadvaja approached the Blessed One and said to him, what is the worthy one's birth? What clan do you belong to? And the Buddha said, ask not of birth, but ask of conduct. Fire is indeed produced by any wood. A resolute sage, though from low family, is a thoroughbred restrained by a sense of shame. The sacrificer should invoke this one tamed by truth, perfect by taming, who has reached the end of knowledge, a fulfiller of the holy life. Then he makes a timely oblation to one worthy of offerings. And the Brahmin said, surely my sacrifice is well performed, as I have seen such a knowledge master. Because I had not seen those like yourself, other people ate the sacrificial cake. Let Master Gotama eat, the worthy is a Brahmin. And again the Buddha said in a similar way, food over which verses have been sung, he does not accept. Then the Brahmin said, then Master Gotama, should I give this sacrificial cake to someone else? And the Buddha said, I do not see anyone, Brahmin, in this world with its Devas, Mara and Brahma, in this generation with its ascetics and Brahmins, its Devas and humans, who could eat and properly digest this sacrificial cake, except the Tathagata or a disciple of the Tathagata. Therefore, Brahmin, throw away the sacrificial cake in a place where there is sparse vegetation, or dispose of it in water where there are no living beings. I'll stop here for a moment. So the Buddha is saying, since this cake has been offered to the Buddha, nobody else is qualified to eat it except the Buddha and his disciples. So the Buddha asked him to throw it away in a place where there is little vegetation. Why? Because plants have fairies inside them. So if you throw food over plants, you dirty the plants, and these fairies are not happy. And also, if you throw it in water where there's living beings, and if the food is oily, the living beings may die. So the Buddha, that's why the Buddha said this. Then the Brahmin Sundarika Bharadvaja disposed of that sacrificial cake in water where there were no living beings. When it was disposed of in the water, that sacrificial cake sizzled and hissed and gave off steam and smoke, just as a plowshare heated all day sizzles and hisses and gives off steam and smoke if placed in water. So too that sacrificial cake, when disposed of in the water, sizzled and hissed and gave off steam and smoke. Then the Brahmin Sundarika Bharadvaja, shocked and terrified, approached the Blessed One and stood to one side. The Blessed One then addressed him with verses. When kindling wood, Brahmin, do not imagine this external deed brings purity. For experts say no purity is gained by one who seeks it outwardly. Having given up the fire made from wood, I kindle, O Brahmin, the inner light alone, always ablaze, my mind always concentrated. I am an Arahant living the holy life. Conceit, O Brahmin, is your shoulder load, anger the smoke, false speech the ashes, the tongue is the ladle, the heart the altar. A well-tamed self is the light of a man. The Dhamma is a lake with fords of virtue, limpid, praised by the good to the good, where the knowledge masters go to bathe, and dry-limbed cross to the far shore. Truth, Dhamma, restrain the holy life, attainment of Brahma based on the middle path. Pay homage, O Brahmin, to the upright ones. I call that person one impelled by Dhamma. That's how it says here, based on the middle. I just added the middle part. So when this was said, the Brahmin Sundarika Bharadvaja said to the Blessed One, Magnificent Master Gotama, Magnificent Master Gotama. So in the same way, he took refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha and asked to go forth. And later, he became an Arahant also. So here you see, I don't know whether the Buddha used his psychic power or what, because when he threw the cake into the water, it was as though a hot metal piece had been dropped into water, hissed and all that. It frightened him. So then he believed that the Buddha was actually a holy man. So he asked to go forth. And the next sutta is quite interesting, 7.10. On one occasion, the Blessed One was dwelling among the Kosalans in a certain woodland thicket. Now on that occasion, 14 oxen belonging to a certain Brahmin of the Bharadvaja clan had gotten lost. Then the Brahmin of the Bharadvaja clan, while searching for those oxen, went to the woodland thicket where the Blessed One was staying. There he saw the Blessed One sitting with his legs folded crosswise, holding his body erect, having set up mindfulness in front of him. Having seen him, he approached the Blessed One. I recited these verses in the presence of the Blessed One. Surely